Hello and welcome back to the Tin Barn. I'm Pragmatic Lee, and in today's video we're going to fabricate a mount for a winch to use on my trailer and on the receiver hitch on the back of my pickup truck. The winch we're going to use is the cheapest thing on Amazon. It was only like $65, $66 on Amazon, which is actually about $4 or $5 cheaper than the same winch at Harbor Freight. I say the same winch, they're under different names, but the pictures basically look the same. Let me bring you down here and show you what we got. All right, here's the winch itself. It's rated for 2,000 pounds. The brand name at Amazon is RUGCEL, Rug Cell. But like I say, it's rated at 2,000 pounds. 2,000 pound pull. It comes with a wired remote with an up and down button, in and out button. Of course, a little manual. It also comes with a cable guide, which the one from Harbor Freight does not have. The mount, this of course will mount on the front of it. The winch mounts on this plate. As such. And this mounts on the front. Two holes on each end to mount it down. Most likely meant to be mounted down in a permanent situation. What we're going to do today is take this piece of steel plate, 1/4 inch thick, which is basically the same size as the bottom of this plate. We're going to drill the matching holes for the mount, and then actually weld this plate to a hitch. We'll weld this piece up underneath this like such. Then this can slide into the existing receiver on the pickup truck. Be used on that. After we do that, we're going to make a mount to mount this receiver on the railing of the trailer. Got you a simple little drawing right here. Of kind of what that winch is, or what that mount's going to look like. Use your imagination right quick. This round right here is the railing on the trailer. The trailer has a railing all the way around it that's, I believe it's about 2.5 inch round stock. The receiver, this piece up here, this is a receiver. On the end of this, we're going to mount a plate like such, like this, and then a shorter one over here, and I'll use this 3/4 inch bolt as the pin to keep it from sliding off that rail. Now that will obviously be able to tilt, or will tilt, but once tension is put on the cable, on the winch, which will be out here, that should pull that straight. The pin should keep it from popping off. Then all I've got to do to take this off the trailer is simply pull that pin. I've got a toolbox already mounted on the trailer. It and the winch can sit right in that box. But again, if I need it on the back of the truck for whatever reason, there you go. This will slide right into the receiver on the truck. Okay, I think the first thing we want to do is transfer the hose from this plate to this plate. We'll do that. Excuse me. I'll set that on, get that lined up, and simply put a couple of clamps on there. We got 6 holes to mark, so I don't want it slipping. Alright, then we should be able to take a transfer punch and transfer each of these holes. Now that we've got them transferred, we can take a heavier punch and just highlight the holes a bit more. Oh, and I've had several folks ask how the hand is doing. I appreciate all the comments and well wishes. The hand is doing great. Today is actually 2 weeks since the accident itself, and it is healing very well. I keep a bandage on it, or I had been keeping a bandage on it up until about 2 days ago, and that particular day when I came in from the shop, the bandage, and it had to be taped all the way around my hand to keep it from coming off, but it was just aggravating me so bad. I told the wife, I said, I'm going to take it off today, take it off a bit early, go in, get a shower, get it wet basically for the first time, and try it the rest of the evening without a bandage on it. And it did so well then that I've gone, today is the 3rd day without wearing a bandage. I do have one under there now, just to protect it from the glove, but it is healing very nicely, thank you. So let's turn over to the drill press now and drill these 6 holes. Alright, I'm at the drill press now, and if you saw the video sometime back where I made this table plate for the drill press, you'll recall I put these 4 holes in, or 8 holes in, 4 on each axis, and made these little stops. Those stops are meant as work bumps for a piece of material to bump up against. The drill press is going to try to twist that way, as we saw a couple videos ago when it got my hand. We'll line up one of these marks, and trust me, I'm not going to try to hold this by hand even with it up against the stop. I'm going to drill a lead hole with this, let's see, what have I got there? Just a small bit I grabbed out of 3/16 bit. And then we'll come back with 11/32 bit for the actual hole size. I love these stops. As you saw there, I didn't even have to clamp it down. All the force was against that stop. Alright, holes are drilled now. That plate's a bit warm, but we're going to carry it over to the little drill press and deburr the back side back here. Alright, all the holes are cleaned up, deburred on both sides. Okay, back over here at the workbench, I've double checked that all the bolt holes line up. with the mounting plate that came with the winch, and the one that we're going to make removable down here, and also the 2 holes to mount the winch. Now I've got the pin and the receiver mated together here. I've marked the side that I want to weld on, and I've also marked the depth that I can mount back to. I'm going to take this bottom plate back off of this, set it on here, line it up, carry it over to the dirty side of the 10 boring, and weld that up. I'll bring you back once I got that done. Alright, I got our plate mounted onto the hitch, and this can go into the receiver that's permanently mounted on the pickup truck, or it can go on this receiver we're about to make a mount for that will mount on the trailer. So of course that's in there. This will be bolted down with the winch on there, with the winch and the cable guide. All that'll stay together, and then it'll just be pulling the hitch out and placing it back in whichever receiver. So what we want to do now is carry this out, carry this over to the dirty side, weld this on, and weld that on. And I'm remembering this pocket right here is what will set down over the rail on the pickup truck. As it turns out, I found this piece of square stock here, square tubing, that is the same width as the diameter of the railing on the hitch, or railing on the trailer. So I should be able to use it as a guide to hold everything in place. I'll put the pin in while we're welding just to be sure everything stays upright. So I'm going to carry this over to the dirty side and weld that up, and then we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, I've got the receiver for the trailer welded up now. Got this long piece on the back and this short leg here. And again, this will set over the railing of the trailer, and the pin go in to hold it in place. Before I carry this piece and this one outside and give it a paint job, I've got some weld splatter down in here I'd love to kind of clean up a little bit. This on the outside was easy enough to get to with the wire brush on the grinder, but couldn't reach down in there. Okay, I think I said earlier in the video I was going to use this 3/4 inch bolt as the pin, but I got to thinking about the threads are good on this bolt, and that's probably a $5 or $6 bolt right there. I got plenty of other material around here I can use and not mess up that bolt. In fact, I got this old crowbar right here that the claw foot on it was broke. I actually picked this up in a box of auction goodies years and years ago, and the only reason I still had this piece, I cut this and the pry end, which was bent, I cut it off, I don't know, well over a year ago, but I'd thrown this piece and the foot end in my pile of material out there with my forge. So I went and dug that out just to show you what I was talking about, that the claw was broke off on that. But I think we'll put this piece in the lathe. It cut pretty good, so with the bandsaw when I cut it off before. I think we'll put this piece in the lathe and just roll these edges just a little bit. That bolt was 7.4, so I think we'll turn this down to about 7.5, 740. I'm sorry. I didn't think about it. I wonder if it's way out of round. That don't look too bad. I'm not even going to bother trying to put a center in it. Looks like it might have had a little run out at the end down here, but we'll just turn those edges down, I don't know, about 100 thousandths, so give it a measurement maybe in the middle in here. I think I need about 4 3/4. That's right on the money. Bolt itself is about 740 thousandths. It's a 3/4 bolt. Let's see what this is now. That's 790. Let's take another 50 thousandths off that. I just want this pin to, I just want it to be a loose fit. That didn't like but just a very little bit, making that round, which I've got no problem whatsoever with. 754 thousandths. Piece is springing just a little bit in the this much sticking out. Okay, I think what we'll do now is just go ahead and part this piece off, and then I'll put it back in to chamfer, to face and chamfer the ends. Alright guys, let me say something right quick about working here on the lathe, holding my arm over there with a glove on. These are, of course, what do they call these? Nitrile gloves. They tear real easy. And before I even started, I made note of the fact that the jaws were flush or beyond the outside of the chuck body. And the whole time I was holding the lube over here, I was watching this area even more so than I was that. So I am conscious of not wearing gloves and long sleeves around the lathe. All right, I'm going to let this piece cool off a little bit, and we'll put it back in here and face it and put a chamfer on. All right, our pin's cooled off some now. Slide that in. We'll put our facing tool in. Now we'll take the tool with the 60-degree insert in it and put a good chamfer on this. I'll turn it around and do the same thing to the other end. Piece of crowbar material has cooled down. Got each end chamfered now. It turned out to be some pretty good material. I'll set that on some parallels, and I'm going to put this hitch pin in one end. Now these are kind of stiff hitch pins, and if you're familiar with them, if you don't have good clearance to get hold of that and pull it out, there's a good chance you're going to skin a finger or something when it pulls out against it. So this is going to be a somewhat permanent pin. And the other end, I'm going to use this PTO pin. They're very very simple to get on and off. So the first thing I'm going to do is spot drill or center drill. And this really doesn't even require finding the exact center or any exact spacing. I do have it marked of where the arms on the hitch will be, and as long as I stay clear of that, I'm fine. And I'll just use my micrometer to center that up on the y-axis. Boy, that's a dull center drill. And for each one of these pins, I just going one size over, which in my drill index would be a 64th over. Let's try the other end of the center drill. Okay, I'm going to wash some of that cutting oil off of this piece, clean the die-chem off of it, deburr it, carry it out and put a little paint on it too, and then we're going to come back and put the pieces together. But while all that paint is drying, I think I'll run down the road to Bojangles and get me a piece of fried chicken, some dirty rice, a biscuit, and some unsweetened tea. And I'll meet you back here shortly. By the way, I feel sorry for you folks that don't have a Bojangles close to you. This one is about maybe a mile and a half from the house, and I'm a heart patient, so I don't eat fried chicken often. But when I do, I splurge a little bit. There's a McDonald's, a Hardee's, a Wendy's, a Popeyes, a Cookout, and a KFC, all within stone's throw of the Bojangles. And at any given point in time, night or day, there'll be more people in the Bojangles parking lot and drive-through than all the other fast food joints in the area put together. Like I say, I feel sorry for you if you don't know what Bojangles is. If you're ever traveling through I-90 through North Carolina on I-95, this one's at exit 97. Well, it's actually the next morning now. After that big old fried chicken lunch, got back here to the tin barn and decided I needed to spend the rest of my afternoon just catching up on YouTube. But that gave an opportunity for the paint to dry on all the pieces overnight. One thing I did do, I took a piece of my toolbox drawer liner and glued it down inside this, so when it sits on that railing, it won't be, it'll give a little cushion between the rail on the trailer and this receiver hitch. Of course, the pin is dry. Alright, let's marry up our two mounting plates. Alright, so the winch is mounted on our hitch assembly now. Let's put the cable guide out front. And as I said at the beginning of the video, the way this right here is, I can go straight to the hitch that's on the permanent mounted hitch on the truck and slide this in. But the main gist of this video was to making this mount for the trailer. So let's go out to the trailer now and get this put on and do a quick little test of the video of the winch itself. Okay, I think I got all the pieces out here I'm going to need. Here's the receiver, of course, that we made for the trailer. I will slide down over the rail. The pin we made on the lathe out of the old crowbar. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I knew this was going to roll. That's really not a problem at all, because once force is put on the cable, that'll actually help it find its home position. All right, so let's slide the winch in. And this is just a standard hitch pin right here. All right. Let me tilt that up so you can see what I'm about to do. The connections on the end down here, I do not have the truck wired yet. So what I'm going to do for the this demonstration, if you will, and this quick hookup, I've got tractor back here, and I've just got the jumper cables hung out. I'm going to use the battery for that. Now this set of the remote says it goes to the motor, and this is the negative side. All right, now these connections should remain the same, or should remain connected. There's no need to disconnect them. For this other end, what my long-term plan is to get a winch quick disconnect, and run the wiring. This looks like about 6, 8, or 8 gauge maybe. I'll have to check that to be certain. Okay, the battery's running down in my microphone again. But what I was saying, this wire right here is either number 6 or number 8 gauge. And what I want to do is get enough of that stranded wire to go from the battery on my truck up underneath the truck back to the hitch. And at that point, have what's called a winch quick disconnect. I'll try to post a picture of what I'm talking about there, but actually permanently mount that on the truck. There's enough cable here, the other end of it would have the male side, and it's long enough to reach the hitch on the truck, even though I got the winch mounted on the trailer. Right now I've just got it rigged up to the jumper cables on my tractor back here. Not something I would want to depend on out in the field. And over here, I think after I wrap this video up, I'll probably measure and make just a simple little prop out of some maybe thin wall conduit or something like that. Just something to hold this up to get the cable started. If I got a heavy piece of equipment, ATV or mower or something like that I'm pulling up, it probably wouldn't take long to tension this out. But with just this little tractor weight I got back here, I set that block under there to prop it up. And I tripped the quick release here for the freewheel. I put that back into position, so that should be locked in now. Just notice the labels on the remote control here are backwards. I'm gonna have to pop them off and reverse them. This one shows taken up, but when you press that one, it actually is letting it out. Okay, before we close this video out, I decided I would add one more thing to it, and that's this little prop. As you saw in that demonstration, I had the wood block in there, but I decided I'd make something that would go with this setup a little better. This simply slides into the hitch, and now that will set right there. And again, the only purpose for this is to hold it in place until the winch gets tightened up on the whatever it is that's being pulled up, and then this can be taken out. Now this prop and this receiver right here will stay in the toolbox here on the trailer. The winch and the pin that goes in the receiver, the remote, the wiring and so forth will go in the back of the truck. Hope you've got a little bit out of this video, maybe got some ideas should you ever have a need to mount a winch and not want it permanent. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video.